There is a massive amount of AI involved in everything that we're in. And I say worse because of all the crazy things that we've been through, but it's a lot worse than people really realise. They've been doing this for a long, long time. What we're getting here now is nothing compared to what's been going on long before. It's an old saying, as above, so below. They've been feeding it down here. And there are a lot of, I call them puppets, because they're basically mind controlled. And when you start looking into what they've been doing here with mind control, you begin to understand how shocking it really is. They've done me a lot of physical damage, and it's been going on since I was a child, because putting it all together, I looked back in hindsight and I thought, oh, this was... a lot of different things had been happening, and a lot of diseases, a lot of sickness, and it was all deliberate. It's like not free. We're not free people here.
Welcome to the Unveiling Shadows podcast. I'm your host, Kimberly Mosby. Join me as I dive into powerful stories of resilience and strength. In each episode, I sit down with guests who have faced similar journeys of coercive control, financial manipulation, and personal invasion. Together, we uncover the shadows, share our experiences, and inspire others to reclaim their lives. Tune in, listen, and be a part of the community that stands tall against the forces that seek to control us. Hey everyone, I'm your host, Kimberly Mosby. Welcome back to Unveiling Shadows, where we strip away the noise, confront the narratives, and speak boldly into places most people avoid. Today, I'm honored to welcome a guest whose presence carries both weight and wisdom. Shauna Forbes is a woman who doesn't just navigate uncomfortable truths, she meets them head on. A seeker, a truth teller, and someone unafraid to stand where others might stay silent. I could give you a list of roles or achievements, but that's not what this moment's about. What matters is this: Shauna brings depth, discernment, and a fierce kind of grace that challenges you to really see. She's not here for just surface talk. She's here to unveil what lies beneath and makes her the kind of guest this space was made for. Shauna, welcome to Unveiling Shadows. I'm truly grateful you're here.
Thank you, Kimberly. I'm extremely grateful to have this opportunity to hopefully just put a bit more knowledge out there for people of what I've been through and what is going on in the world. So I've been researching for around 25 years, and somewhere at around the age of 35, I had some kind of experience where I got woken up about 5:30 in the morning with a extremely loud tone in my left ear, and then it just stopped, and then there was nothing. For years, there was nothing. It's been a hell of a journey, actually, but there's been a good side to it as well. It's like they lifted a veil off my mind, off my consciousness, and I could not suddenly, but I slowly began to see things with more clarity. And pretty much when I started all the reading and I was just devouring books like they were going out of fashion. Over the years, I've covered a massive amount of subjects, but I sort of had to do that I wanted to know what we were in, what we exist in, the world and what's around us. And of course, we've all gone through some crazy days lately. And so it's been like the biggest jigsaw puzzle I've ever had to put together. There is a massive amount of AI involved in everything that we're in, and it's worse. I say worse because of all the crazy things that we've been through, but it's a lot worse than people really realise. They've been doing this for a long, long time. What we're getting here now is nothing compared to what's been going on long before. It's an old saying, as above, so below. Well, they've been feeding it down here, and there are a lot of, I call them puppets, because they're basically mind controlled. And when you start looking into what they've been doing here with mind control, you begin to understand how shocking it really is. People, if you haven't got a strong mind, you're played like a fiddle, really. And for some reason, I have been shown a lot. I've witnessed a lot. They've shown me a lot of things because they want me to know. And
Yeah.
but I have paid a shocking price for that, because when I was opened, I was open to more than one, and they've done me a lot of physical damage, and it's been going on since I was a child, really, because putting it all together, I looked back in hindsight and I thought, oh, that's what that was, or that's what this was. A lot of different things had been happening, and a lot of diseases, a lot of sickness, and it was all deliberate. It's like we're not we're not free. We're not free people here. And when I started journaling about the 25 years ago, I sort of thought, oh, well, somewhere along the line, I thought I could write a book. And because I'm getting a lot of V2K as well, have been for many, many years. Some of it's good, some of it's not good. But ones were coming through saying, no, no book. They don't want it known. And so, but I just kept writing, and they literally destroyed my right hand. I couldn't use it for 18 months. Had to have surgery to get that fixed, and I can use it again now. But then they gave me fibromyalgia, bursitis, can hardly walk, just aching from head to toe, really. They're pretty pissed off with me. I've learned that well, I can't say for everybody, but I don't come from here. And I know that beyond all doubt. But I had to know what we were in, so that I basically had to make sure I wouldn't get caught again. Because when you leave this body, if you don't know where you're going, you just get caught again somewhere else. It's been pretty
You
mind-blowing.
keep recycling.
Sorry?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. I said I call it in the loop or keep recycling, and they do that on purpose so they can, feed off of our loosh. And so David Icke says a lot about that. And so I agree, we're not from here. We're just here to have the human experience, but this wasn't the human experience that my spirit wanted.
No, I think to
Yeah.
myself, I would not have come into this had I had any inkling of what I was getting into. One of the books that helped me a lot to understand a lot of this was the Gnostic Bible, because it talks about reality of the rulers and the origins of the world. And it's a pretty thick book. It was translated from the Nag Hammadi scriptures that they found years ago, 1947. I think. And it was only through reading that I thought, gee, now it actually makes some sense. It's like I can relate to this, whereas I couldn't relate to the Bible. I thought something just didn't quite click with it. But all this information was coming out of this Gnostic Bible. I'm thinking, oh, now I know why the world's the way it is and all this. So it sort of helped clarify some things for me, but I wasn't ready for all the things they were going to throw at me. I find it really unforgivable, and I have to talk about it, because with the AI will just destroy people's minds. They're just getting more powerful and stronger, and because they've been doing it for a long time, but it's it actually has a force that is like a frequency, if you want to call it. They sort of overlay your body with a frequency that it's not you. It's like if they had an itch, you somehow know it's not your body that's itching, but they're doing something to make that feeling happen. And it's positively wicked. Yeah. It's been a massive journey.
Well, how did you know? Like, can you first describe how you understood that you were being targeted?
Well, when they started hammering my hand, it was just like a constant jabbing, and they kept at it in this one spot until they'd done the damage, and I couldn't write, I couldn't peel a potato, I couldn't do anything with it. And some days I felt like my mind from the inside was just getting pulled and stretched like something, and days where I just had to sit here like a vegetable because I just couldn't function. It was so overpowering. And there was another night I was laying in bed and I had such a pressure and a force on the back of my neck. I thought they were going to snap my bone. And they have said they're not allowed to kill me. I thought, well, yeah, but you're not supposed to be torturing people either. It's like they are, they're not, they're soulless entities that this artificial, have you heard the term egregores? They're manifestations of AI. There's not here, but AI from somewhere. They just manifest out of nothing. When I was a teenager, I actually went out with one, and it was only in hindsight that I looked back and think, oh my God, that's who that was. He was like almost otherworldly because he was so good looking. You think people like that just don't look that good here. And he was also extremely quiet. It's like he didn't talk much at all. And then I figured out, after I'd been looking at all this and learning everything, I thought, oh my God, grief, he was like a cyborg with skin on, like he just looked like us. They blend in, and I've actually met a few since. There's one, I don't know if I should say this, but there's one on YouTube, Morg. He's got blonde, white hair, and I've been studying him, and I'm thinking, I'll bet you're one. I don't know, I can't say for sure, but I think he is. But anyway, they're out there, and they're all mixed in the world. We have, they crossed to human form with animals. And that's where it started. And now we all have this human form, but we still have extra bits that we probably shouldn't have.
I would agree with that. I don't think we should have foreign bodies, that they purposely put into us. Yeah.
Yeah. If you look back in archaeology and you see they have these massive big structures where they're half animal and half human, like a bull's head or the minotaur's horse and human face. I've actually was shown a vision of one who I was asleep, and this was a vision, but he was sitting on my bed and he's just saying, oh, Shauna. And then he turned around and looked at me and he had the face of a baboon. I thought, that just stuff like that really blows you away. And it's not things that you can forget. There's so much going on in this little construct. It's like people would be flawed if they knew. And there is good and bad, but the reason they don't want people to know, because then they can't get away with all the things they do. They parasite people. People go through their lives and they're being manipulated and led when they've got no idea that they're being led. There are other people who, they're like savants. They can recall anything, but they can't do up the button on their shirt and feed themselves. That's all mind control. It's at such a level that if your mind is weak, I think you become prey to what goes on here, and then you become like food for them. I've been screaming at them for years, the things they've done to me, and I didn't know I could get so angry, so cranky. I get furious that they can just decimate people and the lies. And, I looked at all the COVID thing and everything and then thought, what if everything we ever knew turned out to be a lie? And it's looking very much like that. I think, well, people have to know, this has to get out there. And I'm, really grateful that you're doing whatever you can to get that done. For anybody who will listen, but it will only be there for those who want to listen. I've tried to explain things to people, and they are so mind controlled that it gets turned around and you look like you're the crazy one. I was talking to one friend one morning having coffee, and she started babbling like an 18-month-old, and then went back to our conversation. She'd had no idea that she'd done this. I mean, what do you do with stuff like that? I just had to sit with it, and I couldn't tell anybody because every time I tried to say something about anything, it's get fobbed off as something else. I've had that many things go missing in the house: clothes, food, jewelry. I had a 5,000-gallon water tank, twice got emptied overnight, not a drop to be seen anywhere. I got a statue that got sliced like a piece of butter, and you can't see anything. You cannot see a single thing. I'm glad to have the opportunity to at least maybe other people can relate to things.
Yeah. Yep. So the statue was probably sliced like butter with a laser because they have like laser technologies that can do all sorts of things. And we're so advanced technologically that people don't understand how far we are. And I hope this wakes some people up to start, looking at some stuff, including our governments, because they're not for the people, they are against the people at this point.
Absolutely. Absolutely. They're mind controlled. They're being led by something somewhere else. I'm really convinced of that because they,
Yep.
when I seen this friend babbling like a baby, I thought, well, they can do whatever they want. Once they get, I've had to fight to keep my own mind, and they snatch thoughts out of your mind, and then, I know it's not me. It's what they're doing that's actually making this happen. And then someone else will sort of, in this V2K stuff, will tell me what it was that they thought that they had taken. I thought, well, I wonder if Alzheimer's and all this thing is all tied in with that. So many people losing their minds lately. Never heard of it before, really. So it wouldn't surprise me if it was all connected.
Yep, all connected. The COVID, Fauci juice, and the mind control, all connected. And there's graphene in those and heavy metals, and that's what causes people's brains to deteriorate. And that's why Alzheimer's is such an issue now, where it never used to be. Like 50 years ago, you'd rarely see a case. It's just come up since we're in this toxic environment that people are now easily more controllable because of these toxins in our environment.
Yes. One of the things I looked at in all the travels was I looked at a little bit of quantum physics. Not that not that I'm can sort of do any of that, but I looked at enough of it and read enough of it to get a handle on what they were talking about. And this really is a holographic place that we're in. They've made things appear. They make things disappear. I was driving one day, looked up in the sky, and there was they made the cloud form a perfect circle like a donut, and they said, just go through it. I thought, it was a bit too much for me to cope with, but just how everything's malleable. It's illusionary. We think it's 3D matter, but apparently it's not as solid as we like to make it. We think it is, but
Yep.
that's too much science for me. But I had taken an overdose years ago, and it was a lot, and it was as if I'd taken nothing. That's how much force and power they can hold over the body. They have forced me to endure what I've been open to, because I think under normal circumstances, I couldn't have done it. I would have caved in long ago. All the physical stuff, but these forces that they've got are really, really powerful things. So it's important that they're not allowed to do the wrong thing. We'll all be, what's the point of the place even existing if they're just going to destroy everything all the time? Why bring children into it? You just lose everything. And I looked at NDEs and near-death experiences. I thought, well, where do they go? What happens? There's so many dimensions in it all. And some of the books of like Swedenborg and others, when you look at it, I'm thinking this is like a multiverse realities. It's just realities that are illusionary. You think you're in there doing something, but it's like you're just lost in it all. Yeah,
Yep.
crazy stuff. Really crazy. And the distractions of most people are so heavy that they don't know. They got no idea about anything. People are still blind about what COVID was all about. It's like they don't know what you're talking about. It's just it seems a bit unbelievable, for people like us who are looking at it all the time and so rock solid in knowing. They just look at you like you come from outer space. Sad. It's very sad.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Maybe if enough people can get together, it might shift something. They did say to me once that with what I know, that I could bring the house down, but I thought, well, I don't really think that could happen, because if I can't get people to listen, or if they don't really understand or haven't done enough research into what we exist in, um, it's just wasted waste, I suppose. Because unless you understand and know, there's a good side to things too. It's not all, doom and gloom. I think if you know where your origins come from, not in this, then you know that darkness is a fabricated thing. It's not real. It's something that's been designed like a program. We're running in a program and it runs to set cycles. There's little resets, and we're coming in for a big one soon. We're already sort of into it. And I've lost my train of thought. What was I saying? See, that's what they do.
So, yeah, I know. I call it being put on neutral. So, you were talking about we're coming in for another reset, which I don't think it's going to be a dark reset that they're hoping for. I hope that it's going to be a light reset and that more people will wake up, so that when we reach critical mass and more of us are aware, that we have intention in our thoughts together, like creating a consciousness of a peaceful world without them torturing us with this AI
Yeah,
or
yeah,
fabricated universe.
yeah. There's been a definite split in the world, which I couldn't help but notice when the COVID thing was on. It's like the haves and the have-nots. Some went into oblivion with it all, and other people started to really wake up more than getting out of the mainstream of things. It is a program, because, like I said, darkness doesn't really exist. We wonder why bad things happen. It's because of the mind control and influence of what's running the program. Influences people's minds, and they play the part. And wherever it's coming from remains unaccountable, like everything else here. Speaking out can only help, maybe trigger and tweak some people to things that they didn't think of and things like that. But, oh yeah, I've been journaling for 25 years. I've got a lot of stuff in there that so much, it's like very overwhelming, even for me that's been doing it. And there's so much psychology. We never got an well, I've listened to some of your talks as well as my own research. We didn't get a real education. The
Nope.
things in life that really matter never get looked at. Medicine's gone AWOL, science has gone AWOL, and the world's being run by lunatics. So And yeah, people wonder why, but then that they just shrug their shoulders and get on with it. And what does it take to break it? I don't know. I don't know.
I think the worst excuse for humans that they could give is to shrug it off and be like, well, I'm only one person. What can I do? You're one person and your voice and your spirit matter. So you start speaking up. That's what you do, So just, looking at it and then saying, you have to speak up because silence is going to get us nowhere way too fast. And I've
No,
said that several times in my podcast.
exactly. It's been the biggest downfall of humanity is we just did not believe that such rottenness was lurking there all the time. They pulled the rug out from under us at the last minute. And we're scrambling to wake up, scrambling to get a hold on what all of this is. It's damn well been there all the time. Trusted and our minds do get veiled because I know again in hindsight, looking back, that I can see how unconscious I was, even though I could feel something wasn't right. It's like I wasn't really aware of the depth of what was going on, and it's like a bottomless pit. And there are those who come through who actually call it death of mind, and that's got to be the lower. That's the end. You sink into that death of mind, then you got nothing left. They've just destroyed you. So yeah, it's a fight, and it's a hell. It's how. So I just can't grasp how the hell they can get away with it. That just stumps me. They're so clever. And they've been doing it for so long. If they can dumb you down, what chance can you have? You've got to have something else in you of your true origins, I think, that might keep you safe. Like those who didn't get sucked in and overwhelmed with blindness, for the want of a better word. There's got to be something in our true self that keeps us afloat. Because they tried to destroy me, and the fact that I was held, I had to fight and scream my way out of this demonic garbage. But yeah, I'm getting tired. This has been going on for a lot of years, and even before I was aware, there was surgeries. Like I lost count of how many surgeries and things, and that was part of what started to wake me up. Between that and relationships, I'm thinking, did I tread on a Chinaman or something? I was sort of started to step back a little bit and look and thinking, must have done, I didn't do anything to deserve what had befallen me. And then it all just went on from there. And but I'm glad to have the opportunity to say these things now, because it's like I am getting tired, and I don't know how much longer I can, stand up to it all. I know this is not the end. I'm more than this body, but if I want to have an input into anything, then it's good to have a chance to say some things. If we can all get more,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
get more people on board, it'd be good. Yeah.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah. So I think the surgeries are part of it. Like I didn't know that they were being, held hostage to put a foreign body into a living person. And so I've got several foreign bodies. So I'm just waiting to get an RF scan to see how many foreign bodies I have. Hopefully. Have you had a scan yet?
I have, only through other medical tests, but nobody's ever said to me, oh, there's something odd there. No one, whether they didn't know or because I've got a few screws and different things holding things together in there, but then so they might not have noticed anything. I don't know. I did have one night where I was asleep. It was like I was in a coma. I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, they haven't got
Yep.
hold of my mind, but they've certainly been hacking away at the body. They even can change the shape of your body, because they did that to me as well.
I know.
Yeah, it's like, shut them down.
Depending on how much yeah. And depending on how much radiation they're shooting at you with the Gwen towers and your cell phone. And it was all by design. Like the sick and twisted agenda is all by design. But don't let them take your light. Don't let them take your mind. I refuse to let that go there. I set boundaries for them. Have you started setting boundaries? Because I was angry at one time too, calling them all names of the book. I still call them names, but I don't let it increase my emotion about it. Does that make sense? It's more like,
Yeah. Yeah. I'm
yeah,
not as angry as I used to be, but
yeah,
yeah, still know how to spark me off for things. Yeah, it's a huge thing. It really is. And it is vital. It's a vital thing for people that the people, we're in something and people don't know what they're in. They just live their life and don't question anything. And that's the one thing, the one takeaway of all of it is question everything. They screwed with the medicine, hidden, twisted, verted, destroyed. And yeah, if you can survive it, well, yeah, those of us that have gotten this far with truth and knowledge, we're doing really well. There seem to be some here,
yep, I agree.
sorry, there seem to be some, yeah, some here that in spirit form that are very much, they don't want the technology, but they're not necessarily for our greater good either. They seem to parasite the mind, whether it's like possession, spirit possession, where there's such a weird place that sometimes it's hard to put it all together, whether who's doing what and where's it coming from? Is it a spirit thing? Is it coming from AI? Is it coming from all sources? There's just so much stuff going on. I don't know. Once I got open to this stuff, someone said there was two powers and they were both dark. So yeah, I've had more than my fair share. I won't be coming back this way once I go, but because I also got the truth that I don't come from here and I can go this time. They can't hold me, and they can't hold anybody if you know, but they don't want you to know. And that's how they keep the biggest majority stuck in it. And there are those who are limited and cannot leave because they originate in this construct. People like you and I, yeah, we can leave it, but you're free to stay
Yeah.
and come back and do another fight if you want. Depends, what.
I've had the same message. So, yeah, I have had that same message. It's like once this is done, I will not follow the false light. I will just be like catapulted out of here. My spirit has to go someplace else.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that you said that because I've had the same message. Yeah.
I think the whole universe is part of the construct, because they quantum physics talk about this double split experiment where things come through from something else, and history has pointed at oh, there's something else. There's another, like lifting the clouds, and there's another world out there. And movies have even portrayed the idea that we get given a lot of hints actually, but people think it's just entertainment. They don't not seeing the truth that is in it. Another one that was a big one in the movie thing was Westworld. The original one had Yul Brynner, but then they did a remake that was really, I couldn't watch it. I started to get really bit too much violence and stuff in it for me, so I backed off it. But the little bit I did see, I'm thinking this is exactly what's going on. They can manufacture people. It's all engineering. It's all programmed. So who's real and who isn't? Used to fool me, but
Good question.
yeah, I think I could pick them now if I had a conversation with one. But then I look at Morg, whatever his name is, and I think, yeah, I don't know, they've advanced. They've advanced better than they were back when I was young. God help us. Yeah.
Yes. God help us.
Yeah.
Yes. Interesting. I'll have to look that guy up that you're talking about on. Is he just on Facebook or is he someplace else?
Well, I've got it on DVD, but you could probably dig it out on Netflix or something. Westworld. It was
Oh, I've watched Westworld. I've watched Westworld, and it is very much like the Westworld that we live in, and it's with AI, and it's terrifying actually. I had to also stop watching that show.
oh
Yeah.
yeah, and The Matrix was another one that, because they promote so much violence and the graphics have become so much more horrible. It's like they want to draw you in, and they will do it in a multitude of ways to trick your mind into accepting these alter reality. The guy, he wrote 3 volumes of mind control. Without his name in front of me, I can't think of it. I started reading it, and then I started getting physically attacked because they said, "Don't look at it. Don't look at it." Because I'm open to all that too, and they don't want me looking at it. So I have to back off some things. And look, really, I've got that much information now. I don't really need to look at it. The books on mind control are like, yeah, well, that's what it's all about. Just using people like toys, disposable income. I think they're disgusting. All the wars, making people sick just to make money out of them. It's just horrendous. And the child sex trafficking. It's like people still don't believe or know that that's been going on for a long time.
Yep.
Yeah, there's a lot of dimensional stuff that goes on in our little world too that people are not aware of. Certainly opened my mind and my eyes, and I'm just going to leave it all in absolute disgust and hope that the world will be a little bit wiser. Hopefully, I don't know. Maybe there'll be those that'll be left behind and those that'll be taken somewhere else, another world. I know that's
Yep.
in the making, but yeah, I might leave the whole lot.
So, if you have what advice would you give to people on a place to start if they're just starting to be targeted or feel like something is off? Is there one thing that you feel like would be most important for the viewers?
Well, one of the first things I learned to do was to separate what were actually my thoughts and what were actually the thoughts of what people think are their thoughts, but are not their thoughts. I actually learned to separate the two. And once you've done that, you've gone a long way to know the difference, that how people are led, because they think there's these thoughts that are coming into their mind. I just had a brilliant idea. No, I'm sorry, it wasn't your idea at all. And the whole world is running on this same sort of thing. There's not too many had an original thought of their own. It's all coming through, and they're all fed thoughts and ideas, and all coming from this thought field. Whatever it is, however it's all set up, it's got so many levels in it. But really, question everything, absolutely everything.
Yep.
And don't be frightened to dig. I originally started looking at religion. I studied the Bible for 18 months and didn't join in for some reason. But then when I did start researching it, I started pulling it to bits and tearing it to bits. I thought you got Satan and Jesus or someone like Jesus all in the same room having a conference talking about what they're going to do. I'm thinking, hang on a minute, that's not right. Because there were things I didn't see before. But all of a sudden you start to question everything. I thought, well, then why is everything male? God's not a man. That's not a God. That's a half a story. I've got nothing against men, but what they've constructed here is all male dominant. And that's part of the programming. Looking at the Nephilim and Metatron and Jesus, and there's just thousands of them. They're all men. What happened to women?
Yep.
And your mind
Exactly.
Your mind is a balance of two. It's supposed to be. You got a problem if you're missing half of it. And these were created men. They're not real minds. That's why they're limited to this structure and that's why they're violent. They get the violence because it's all male. That you've got to have a balance of male, female, in your psyche mind thing. So there's a lot to question, and just question everything. Start with little things or dive in the deep end. There's so much on YouTube, and I find it will, if you really want to know, it will come to you. A lot of it has come to me if I want to know. So the universe does give you what you want if you really want it. I got it, and I'm thinking, wow, it's not the nice place that I had hoped it would be. But anyway,
Yep.
it's not the end.
I agree with that. Yeah, I agree with that. Shauna, thank you again for sharing your story, and stay strong. We got this.
Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity, and I support everything you do. Yeah, I'd love to chat more.
Thank you. Yes, absolutely.
Take care.
Yeah, you too.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to the Unveiling Shadows podcast. I hope today's episode has shed light on the experiences that too often remain hidden. If you or someone you know has a story to share, please reach out to me. Remember, you're not alone and your voice matters. Follow me on social media and subscribe to the podcast for more inspiring stories. Until next time, stay strong and keep unveiling the shadows.